Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shenanigans. How are you guys doing today?
I'm
on Valium stream.
This is great because that entire exchange that we had before, the first time we tried to go live, they only heard my half of it, which must have been amazing when talking about moral obligations and.
Oh, right, then I need to say it again.
No, it's fine. Kids. It's fine. We can leave it alone. Rob, why are you all hopped up on pain medications today? What's wrong with you?
Because my back got massively tweaked. My daughter had to take me to the ER last night. I could actually walk sort of today, but had to go get my prescriptions, and now I'm here. And my other big thing, I need to set up the context for my other big thing for this week. And it has to do with problem solving. So setting up context. Does everybody remember, or who can remember, when early in Shenanigans, I was faced with the problem of we had to do an escort mission with a racist client. And so my solution was obviously to try to cure her racism by, like, Scrooge style, with visits from ghosts of racism past, present, and future. Okay.
Yes, and then Eric perpetuated, various forms of sexual assault on the client or something?
Yes. So, and then another time when I was presented with a problem, there were kobolds attacking travelers on the road. And again, my solution to this problem was Kobold Casino.
Right.
And then, and another problem that I was presented to solve was that someone was trying to most dangerous game me. And so, of course, my solution was most dangerous game him first and worst. So keeping in mind this history of problems and the solutions I come up with, for the past week, real people have been paying actual US dollars to have me help them with their problems.
No, who would make that sort of mistake? Or investment, depending on your perspective?
A counseling center.
Who my?
Who's putting me working with clients. So if you begin to see strange stories, news items coming out of California and thinking that's odd, normally I would have expected this news item to come out of Florida. Now you know.
Well, may we ask what sort of counseling this is? Is this like school counseling, or is this like therapeutic counseling, or is this like...
Therapy, baby.
Therapy, baby? All right.
I had a married couple. I had, some other individual clients, because my advice is definitely the advice that will save your marriage.
Well, you see, I think the problem is, Jimmy, you haven't brought home enough bear heads for your wife. She's really feeling a lack of meat on the table in a real caveman sense. Is that how you solve marriages?
Well, there's client confidentiality.
Of course, I would never ask you to expose something that you've said in a meeting, but you could give.
That's why I've never mentioned your issues in a public setting, Neal. I really don't think that peanut butter is good for the dog.
As long as he's not solving problems by kidnapping brides and putting them in other cities.
Yeah.
She came of her own free will.
Things might be all right.
That was arranged. She was getting a spa week, which I paid for.
All right, Nick, how's life been going for you for the last week?
Seducing brides. Well, I just bought War of the Chosen and have played like 6 hours of it last night, so I'm a bit tired. But it's great. I love it. Break everything.
All right. So let's hop into game then. you guys are all hanging out in Shenanigans as usual. I think you guys have a room here, and you're downstairs sipping whatever it is that you guys drink. By the way, what is Zen and Carlo's drinks of choice?
Carlos
Rum.
drinking straight wood alcohol.
Just like straight wood alcohol. Just like, isn't that going to turn you blind?
Out of a shot glass.
For reference, that will destroy your eyesight. Don't drink wood alcohol unless you're a fictional character. It's okay.
Or you're on Valium.
No, don't do
kid.
it. Don't do that. Don't listen to the
25
person.
million U.S. housewives in the 50s couldn't be wrong.
Yes, they can. They can still be wrong today. Oh my god. Okay.
Don't be like that guy who drank like bottles of radium and then his jaw fell off.
Please don't do those things. All right, so
You know, radium gets such a bad rap. Pierre Curie was exposed to radium all the time, and it did not hurt him at all because he died young, getting run over by a carriage before it could poison his body. But
all right, so you're hanging out in Shenanigans. Things are going as usual. It's been a pretty slow day. A couple of jobs came through earlier, but they got picked up by the people who were seated closest to the door and who showed the most enthusiasm, while your group is a little bit more of the like dark and brooding, quiet, unblinking, strange folks in the corner, right? Like you guys are more of the, when you've got a big problem that needs solving, you go for like the dark brooding people. But when you've got like, oh hey, I need this letter to get delivered, but watch out, there's bandits on the road, you go for the like eager people up front, you know?
okay.
So you guys have been kind of overlooked, and the day's drawing towards a close. It's been a kind of a dull day around Shenanigans. Borsch has been making his signature soups, but they've been coming out just fine. You know, haven't been any problems with them. No kobold hairs. Glibglob has had the kitchen hasn't been overloaded, so Glibglob's been staying in the stables and just mucking out stables all day, so no problems there. Lizzie and Desmond seem pretty happy. She's brought home an elk, back to the tavern, and that got chopped up for the stew, and then they hung out and chatted for a while. Layla came in and did her homework right away. It was really interesting. It was about the different types of sand you can use for color spray. So she practiced color spraying a few times and brought Glibglob in as a target practice. It was a lot of fun. They kind of rolled on, and it's getting on towards evening.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing now that it's like getting on towards evening?
All right.
I'm nursing my wood alcohol and grittily brooding at the room, and every now and then I put my boots back on, rebooting, if you will.
All right. Well, you got your boots back on just in time for the evening.
Just sit there. I'm just sitting there waiting for a job. Maybe I tried to help. What's her face? Layla
Yeah.
with her magic studies.
Sure. She'll listen to the advice you have to offer and double down on her work with it. But the day just kind of draws to a close. You find yourself... I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of days like this that happen that we don't talk about. We only talk about the interesting days. We don't usually talk about the days where nothing really goes on. Yeah. I think that's usually what we cover. We don't really cover boring time and shenanigans. But it exists. So you guys have some downtime, and eventually Desmond's starting to shut down the bar. He looks at the two of you seated there and goes, "Sorry guys, guess no work today, but better luck tomorrow."
Guess no men in need of being.
That's all right,
today.
Desmond.
Gives a bit of a shrug. See you later. Closes up the bar and heads off to bed.
All right.
What do you guys do?
I guess I'll see you tomorrow, Carlo.
Anybody you need killed?
It's like the thing you say to someone before you go to bed. Anyone you need killed?
Nobody I can think right now.
All right. Well, let me know if anything comes to you.
Yeah, I'm fine for now.
I guess I'll take Figaro up to bed.
All right. Would you both roll me opposed D20s? Or even better, roll
Just
me
a D20, no stat?
Opposed charisma checks.
All right. What's my charisma?
Oh, wow. I actually rolled well.
Oh, wow. What's your charisma score, Zen?
6.
Okay, so you got a 25 versus Carlos. 18.
He just beat me.
All right. So you guys head off towards bed. Carlo, you start headed in towards your room when the footlocker at the base of your bed like hops off the floor and like jumps 3 feet to the right.
Again.
Again.
I pull out my my long swords. I go, look. This brings me no pleasure. Last time I tried to skin a mimic and had it turned into a fur coat. It turned into an armoire.
The footlocker does not respond.
Just to be clear, I'm like in my own room and this is in his room, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I don't think you guys share a room.
No.
Although if we were being historically accurate, all inns would you bunk people together. They'd be like 3 beds in an inn and 2 people to a bed, 2 to 3 people to a bed. We are glossing over the historical accuracy in order to make our characters more comfortable with more private, personal space.
Yes.
Neal, I don't think anyone's going to sleep with the unblinking wizard.
Hey man, it was a common practice back in the day. That's how it would go down, but it's too difficult to get.
It was very common back in medieval times. Everyone slept with an unblinking wizard.
All right.
Fair enough.
So I go, unless you've got someone you need to have killed. Do you have need of the services of a man with no conscience?
The footlocker stays conspicuously silent and unmoving.
How is Figaro reacting to it? Is he growling at it? Is he sniffing curiously at it? Is he ignoring it?
He's a trained dog, so he sees you draw your sword and he, starts to bristle and stays right by your side.
But is he paying any attention to the footlocker? Like he smells,
No, he's kind of like looking around the room, like doing threat perception on things. But he doesn't locked in on a single target. Does probably look a little more at the footlocker since it was the only thing that moved in the room. But he doesn't seem to be. He seems to be like on guard, but unsure of where his threat is coming from.
All right, I'm gonna tap the lid of the footlocker with the point of my sword.
All right, you take a step closer to tap it, and the footlocker goes whoop, hops up onto your bed, just out of reach.
All the furniture came alive once already, and it wasn't pretty. Now, Lord knows I don't have room to complain about reboots. But if we were going to reboot an old adventure, I wouldn't have gone with that one. I try to give the footlocker another tap.
All right. It hops this time all the way to the head of the bed, kind of backed against the back wall.
Yeah, look. I'm done with your little leapfrog game. Either tell me what's up, or I'm going to have to put you down.
It stands perfectly still.
All right. I sheathe my swords and pull out my darts.
All right. You take your darts out.
I said your little leapfrogging's not going to save you now. Tell me what's up, or show me somehow that you're listening.
All right, Zen, I'd like you to make me a perception check. The walls aren't particularly thick around here, and Rob's characters have been known to talk to themselves from time to time, or to animals in the room from time to time. But you're definitely overhearing a lot of more conversation than you're used to hearing from his room when he goes to bed.
All right.
A lot of chatter.
I'll get up out of bed and just, put my stuff on.
All right.
Go over. Be like, Carlo, what's going on?
That footlocker got a jumper here. I don't know if it's a mimic. I don't know if the gods have run out of plot ideas for our lives and are recycling old events, which seems pretty lame. I mean, I think that's a sign that you're out of ideas when you just take something that didn't need to be rebooted and reboot it in some kind of gritty way.
Okay.
I mean, who does that?
I made an int check. Also, I want to point out third 19 in a row.
Interesting.
On the D20. Yeah. All right. So, my guess is that this is not a mimic. If it's running away from you, they tend to just try to eat whatever it is.
Maybe it didn't realize it was my room.
One.
Snuck in here. It's since realized its mistake.
It continues to sit silently.
It's more likely somebody used the priest frisky chest or whatever it's called to make it run away.
The only frisky chest
look around for a stick or something.
Incident I know about involved a priestess, not a priest.
There are no sticks lying around in his bedroom. It's a weird thing to have. You can find a broom downstairs somewhere, definitely. You go down, you find Glib Glob mopping the floor. You can take his mop if you'd like.
He's mopping the floor in the middle of the night?
Hey, Glib Glob, let me see this for a minute.
Oh, there's the same mop!
You want to be the one to tell him we're dealing with what could be a mimic in his bar?
Huh? The kobold looks at you like he doesn't understand what you're talking about.
Wonder why he'd do that.
All right, I speak to him in Kobold. Explain the situation. A chest is jumping around and moving. I'm gonna poke it.
My mom! Know that!
Okay. Is there a broom somewhere?
Maybe somewhere. You can start looking around for a broom if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I'll ask. Where do you keep the broom? There's another thing. I don't want your mop. Where's the broom? Okay.
Yes, the struggles of dealing with kobolds when they're employees.
I pick up a chair and just bring a chair.
Glubglob jealously holds his mop the entire time. You bring
We're
the
about to, lion taming this chest.
you bring the chair back into the room, and you find Carlo saying,
I'm waiting patiently for whatever the mage has in mind.
"All right,
I'm curious to see what he's going to try.
you guys are together again. Mop in tow, or chair in tow."
I just try poking it with a chair.
I already tried poking it with my sword. That's when it jumps.
All right. So you like reach out the chair to try and hit it, and it jumps, turns, and like jumps through the window with a big crash, landing on the rooftop below.
Rooftop below?
Yeah. So if we look at, I'm gonna do a quick overhead view of the Shenanigans map of the bar. So upstairs you've got like a hallway. It's got like a little staircase that comes out down here, with rooms on one side and rooms on the other. But like the bar itself, I'm gonna do with dotted lines. Oops. Is like this. So like half of the rooms hang out over the edge of the street, and the other half of the rooms hang out over the back of the bar. So if Rob's room is this one, his window out here faces like the first story roof down below. Whereas if you have a room out here, down below you is just a straight drop onto the street. It's like, from the side, the building is kind of like this.
Okay.
All right.
One of these days, I'm going to actually draw a full floor plan for Shenanigans. One of these days.
Well, simply put, I think it's just going to run away anytime we go after it, and I don't feel like chasing a chest around the street.
That's true. I don't feel like chasing it either, so I'll throw 3 darts.
All right, make me 3 attack rolls with your darts. Chest has AC 10. There's enough light coming out of your window and by the moon to illuminate it, and it's close enough. No darkness penalties to hit.
Let me see.
Sim considers just how bad of an idea it would be to web this.
Your first and third dart smack the side of the chest, landing in it with a bit of a quiver. Your second dart flies off into the backyard somewhere.
I keep them on a bandolier.
Okay.
I don't have a quiver for them.
Bandoliers in the chest. Robert. Okay. The chest is now sitting on the roof. Seemingly no threat to anyone.
Sorry, but I can't help you. I can't cast Dispel Magic.
That's all you can not do with this?
Alright, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's Mimic. Color Spray won't work. There's no reason to cast Magic Missile on it. Going invisible ain't going to help. Actually, hold on. I cast Knock on the chest.
The chest opens up.
Can we see what's inside?
What did you leave in the footlocker? Anything? Would you leave anything in that, or do you just like have everything in your backpack tossed on the side of the room? Is it an empty chest?
I don't know. I'd probably just have some clothes in it, I guess.
Yeah, there's a spare change of clothes. Like your nicer spare change of clothes, not your like I'm about to go off on a gritty adventure. This is more of like you're getting it's your Sunday best. It's your church clothes.
All right. I can see I'm going to have to take care of this on my own then. So I go get my harpoon, tie the rope to it. Look at the harpoon. Hoped I'd never have to use this. And I'll throw the harpoon at it.
All right, now, harpooning a fleshy thing is pretty easy. Harpooning something made out of solid wood is going to be a little bit more difficult. You're going to need at least a certain amount of, like, stick to it in order to really be able to draw it back with a harpoon. So I'm going to say you need at least a 15 to stick it well enough that you can pull it in.
All right. Nope. I guess it pulls out when I...
Yeah, so you hook it, the chest just kind of moves with the impact, and then you go to reel it back in, and the harpoon just, like, pops back out.
All right, one more time.
Thud! The harpoon goes, sticks in nice and tightly.
All right, reel it in.
It reels all the way in. Once it gets to the point where you start dragging it up, the chest actually sprouts wings and physically tries to fly away from you. I will need an opposed strength check in order to bring the chest in. Zen, what are you doing while Carlo is desperately trying to pull in this chest?
I'm probably just sitting on the bed, looking at all of this and going, just wanted to sleep.
Well, you rolled a 37 on your strength check. The maximum possible strength check is a 38. You definitely reel the chest in.
That's not true, Neal. You can have over 20 strength.
You can't really have over 18 strength. Not really. It's difficult. The maximum, not the theoretical maximum, but the practical maximum is a 38. You roll in the chest, get your hands on it, and the wings kind of just go limp, and then just fold back into the chest.
As part of being a manhunter, I have bolas, so I'll take my bolas, wrap up the wings with the bolas.
The rings, they reabsorb into the side of the chest. They just kind of like a slug with its antennas coming back into its head.
All right, I'm going to tie the chest up and then tie the other end of the rope to the bed.
Okay, it is so.
All right.
Search the chest, find out if there's anything wrong with it, if there's any reason why this happened.
Well, the chest now has like a nice big split.
It keeps trying to get away when I was just trying to sleep.
There's a nice big split in the front of the chest where that harpoon landed and sunk into it. And the wood is kind of cracked. You know, it's the sort of thing where you don't get your deposit back on your room when you break the chest open a little bit.
In the window.
Yeah, that's true. And the window's broken.
Yeah, but the thing is, we stay here until we die, at which point he's not getting the deposit back. Anyway.
So, other than that, the chest seems fine.
Yeah, so see, there's nothing wrong with it. So now that it's secure, I'm like, and you're not doing any more shenanigans while I sleep. And then I go to bed.
Zen, you go to bed too?
Is there anything in the chest other than clothing?
Nope, just Rob's clothes.
Okay, some cleric is playing jokes this time. Well,
Okay.
I just go to bed.
All
Make sure
right.
my chest isn't frisky.
Nope. Your chest is fine.
Alright.
Your bed's fine. You go to bed. Everyone goes to sleep. And the night passes pretty uneventfully. You wake up the next morning, refreshed, ready to take on the day's work. Come downstairs, and the bar is in its normal
hang on.
state.
First, when I wake up, I get up, get dressed, go over to the chest. Am I gonna have any more out of you? Does it move when I reach for it or anything?
Nope. It functions like a normal, everyday chest.
Say, wise choice. And then I go down.
You head downstairs towards the main floor. Zen's probably already down there. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know who wakes up first. It doesn't really matter. You guys make it down to the floor of Shenanigans. There's just a few other people around. Some of them give you a little bit of dirty looks as you come down. They probably heard a lot of the commotion last night, but left you alone. You know, typical protocol. Someone's fighting a monster in their room. You just leave them be. You know, don't get involved. So they glare at you for all the ruckus last night, but continue with their morning stuff. Desmond comes over to your table with your breakfast.
All right.
Says,
So I pop in whichever corner is not getting the morning sun and sitting there.
I heard you guys had a unwelcome guest last night.
Might see if your furniture will just stay put.
Desmond, you know the cleric spelled frisky chest? Yeah, somebody put it on his chest. It broke one of your windows. And it ran.
Well,
He also harpooned the chest.
rolls his eyes. So you have an enemy who's screwing with you? Just try not to cause any damage to the bar, please. Keep it minimalized.
We're trying not
I
to.
don't think I can damage the bar.
I mean, not like this place is impervious to damage. It's constantly getting wounded or broken, having to replace furniture,
Is it?
replace windows, you know, sand out burn marks here or there.
Oh, wait a minute. I immediately run upstairs, get the chair, bring it back down, then sit in it.
The hell was that chair doing upstairs?
I
No,
tried
wait, you know
to
what?
poke the
I don't
chest
want to
with
know.
it.
I don't want to know. You do you guys. You do you.
How much is it to fix the window and chest?
Probably like
Yes,
3
that
gold.
coming.
2 or 3
Alright.
gold. I don't know. Right? It costs
Alright.
about 200 copper to repair a window. That sounds. Look, I don't really know these things.
All right, look, I hand him 3 gold.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your honesty. And he takes off to go back to his side of the bar.
There. What's Borscht making for breakfast?
Borscht is making fried spiced potatoes. They're really hot.
I thought you were going to say fried spiders at first.
No, fried spiced potatoes.
All right, I enjoy the breakfast as much as I can, which is
Yeah.
probably not very much. I think I have 7 grub skill.
Well, you know, it's really spicy. I don't know how Zen feels about things that are so spicy that they causes him to tear up and like run down his face. Maybe not so much.
Nah,
And the morning just kind of rolls onward. And
I do want to point out, technically didn't roll a natural 19, but a total of a 19.
yes.
So that's still going.
Is that 4 natural? No, because the others were naturals, right? And so this is now
Yeah,
modified.
3 naturals and then a total 19.
Okay. All right. So the day continues. Eventually, one of you needs to visit the outhouse that's back behind Shenanigans that we never talk about. But it's there, I assure you, just like there's a harbor and a port near the river that we never talk about. These things exist.
How often does Glib Glob have to clean that thing out?
We don't. Let's really not get into that. I don't want to. You go to the outhouse, do your business, go to open the door, but find it locked.
Which one of us, Neal?
Give me a d20. Oppose d20s. Oppose Constitution checks to see who can hold it longer. Who needs to go to the bathroom
Oh.
first?
Goodness.
17
So
for
wait,
Zen.
wait, what?
No, that was your old roll. Never mind. 21 for Zen. And a 26 for Arlo. So Zen is the one to go to the outhouse, finish your business, head back. What? The store's locked.
Alright. Alright. You know what? This time I just wraith form.
You cast knock.
I could, but I want to wraith form.
You wraith
That
form?
way I can, show Desmond somebody locked the door.
All right, you and all of your gear become insubstantial. The wizard can pass through small holes or narrow openings, even mere cracks, with all he wears in his hands as long as the spell persists, which is for 2 rounds per level. No, however, the caster cannot fly, blah, blah, blah. So there's definitely cracks all around the side of the door, so you just kind of like right through them.
Yeah, and I just make my ghostly way to Desmond.
All right,
Might
you ghost
investigate
on
the other
it.
side, see if somebody's maybe cast detect magic.
I don't have a mem for the day.
You find your way to Desmond, who looks you up and down and goes,
Desmond, somebody locked me in the outhouse. Was there anything blocking it, by the way?
Nope.
Or just locked?
It was just, there's not even a lock on the outhouse. Like, there's a little latch on the inside, but there's no way to physically lock it from the outside, other than, like, to barricade it, but it was stuck.
Alright, somebody, wizard locked your door or something.
Held portal.
Somebody wizard locked or held the portal of the bathroom door with someone inside of it.
Yes, sounds like the kind of prank a student of magic who'd finally learned first level spells might do.
Layla's off at school today, guys. She didn't do it. You haven't been
she's
teaching
not a cleric.
Glibglob spells, have you?
No.
Good.
No, of course not. That would
I
be
don't think
stupid.
you probably couldn't even handle it. God, what a nightmare
Let's be
that would
honest,
be.
no.
Imagine kobolds casting spells. Ugh.
Wait a minute. That's Droopy.
There's some that say they can be a lot smarter than people realize, but that's nonsense, of course.
Well, there's also people who think the Earth is flat. They're ridiculous. Or is it the people who think the Earth are round are ridiculous? Well, look, there's people on both sides, and clearly one of them is very, very wrong. So,
I mean, listen, I can see the Earth.
I'm sure there's
curve
fine
a bit
people
when
on
I'm
both
up
sides.
in the air when I fly.
yeah. I don't know. Look, the point is,
All right. Well,
kobolds are crazy. Anyone who thinks kobolds are smart or crazier, and whoever locked you in the bathroom is a pretty twisted figure.
yeah.
Well, what do you want me to do about it?
I don't know. I was just telling you your door's kind of stuck now.
Oh god, I have to replace the door. If it's just hold portal, it'll wear off. If it's a full-fledged wizard lock, we're gonna need to replace the door. Unless you don't have a dispel magic on you, do you?
I can't cast them.
Maybe I can send
Transmuter
for someone
and all
from the
that.
tower. All right, got a job. It pays 2 gold. Who wants to go to the wizard tower and bring back a mage to cast dispel magic on the outhouse? Someone's hand shoots up in the back, and Desmond writes them a quick note, seals it, and sends it off. Oh god, you guys are gonna cost me a lot of money at this rate. I mean,
I paid
probably not
for
that
the
much.
last thing.
Yeah. Dispel magics aren't cheap, though. Tens of thousands of copper.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Absurd prices.
Yeah.
Once a day? Huh? It's not like their morning rituals are really worth 10,000 copper for half an hour of studying. And then another minute of casting, and then I guess they gotta walk over here and walk back. But still, it's like an hour of time for 10,000 copper? It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I wish somebody would eventually hire me for that stuff, but it never happens.
Well, you can't cast dispel magic.
Although I
Who's
can't
gonna-
dispel.
Yeah, see, there we go. Anyway, he goes back to the bar, starts polishing out some glasses.
Then you should
Then
probably
again, you never know
memorize.
when a noble will want to have fly cast on them. fly around.
Zen, you might want to memorize some detect magics.
Yeah. Maybe. Wait, do I have detect magic? Darn well should.
That
You
should be a
identify-
spell you have.
Yeah, it's like the second one. I just never use it. Because nothing's ever magical. Oh,
Alright.
Alright.
What do you do?
Maybe tomorrow. Well, I can't go back to sleep now, so...
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
I think I just wraith over to my chair and wait.
Alright. You sit in your chair somehow, and eventually you rematerialize in place, and you can
No,
once
I
again...
think I'm just like on top of the chair, materialize standing on it, and then sit down.
Alright. Once again, you can eat your food and drink your drinks.
I have a feeling that we're not going to get any jobs until after this is resolved. It's just a hunch.
There's a lot of downtime in this
Man.
game. We just never talk about it.
Yeah. Zen just spends his time probably like drinking and then trying to just copy down spells on like pieces of papyrus or whatever.
Zen's
to,
like
like,
drunkily like copying spells onto papyrus and like spilling his beer on it, like, oh fuck, like that. It's
Rum. But yeah, then he just like, I mean, I think he's just copying down like random first level spells and handing them to first level wizards. Like half the time, just like, hey buddy, here's metamorphized liquids.
good. Here you go.
I say, well,
Here's ventriloquism or spook.
You're gonna ruin the spell economy. No one's gonna ever want to pay for spells again. You're setting these people up for like false expectations throughout their life. The
Exactly,
true
Neal.
monster.
I mean, you have to remember, I have previously said and have set up a thing where I copy down a non-magical version of every spell I learn and give it to Desmond. Just for him to have a copy of.
Uh-huh.
since players never get hired for all the things that wizards make ridiculous sums of money for, then it only benefits
can
him
just-
to destroy the magical economy and reduce the cost of spells because he's a customer of
Exactly.
spells.
Oh, you guys are true evil geniuses. All right.
So
I
yeah,
say,
I'm
I
just
say
like,
out loud that
although
I'm not going to sit down here and wait to get pranked again. And I go up to my room, and then I'm going to use disguise skill with some of my clothes, try to change my appearance, and go out the broken window.
All
And
right.
re-enter the bar in disguise. And I'm going to keep an eye out, like observing customers, watching for people watching Zen.
Okay. Do you make a disguise check when you put on the disguise? Is that how it works? Or do I make it in secret for you? I think I probably make this... Because you always think your disguise works, right? You would never go out with a shitty disguise. So you're always
Yeah.
under the impression that it's good. So I think I make you a disguise check in secret. What is
Well-
your disguise check?
I just have basic proficiency in it, and is it charisma?
It's
Is it-
charisma -1. So what is your charisma?
charisma is 14.
Okay.
Neal, I do want to point out one thing. Because Zen is just copying down these spells drunk, like at least a third of the spells I hand to people cannot be learned, so there's just a bunch of first level wizards trying to learn the spell and they can't.
Oh. Monster.
But that's a common thing for them to have spells they can't learn.
So that's
Yeah,
really
well,
what
I
it
guess
is. Like when you can't learn a spell, it's not that the spell, it's not like you can't learn it. It's just that it was written really sloppily and like there's a section missing.
Because
Oh god.
wizards suffer from alcoholism. It's
At least
Every
from
s-
Zen.
like worse than every Russian profession.
All right. You head into the bar, and what? Tell me about your disguise. What are you looking? What are you disguised as?
I just have like a nondescript sort of peasant disguise, a blend into the crowd disguise, for assassinating people and then not being noticed.
Right. So you look like a peasant in a bar full of adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just have like, some peasant hood. It's
Right.
not on fire though or anything.
Right.
Does he immediately get mobbed by like adventurers? Hey, what do you need?
No, he looks poor. He looks like a peasant. He doesn't look like he's here to throw money around.
You never know. Peasants do reward family heirlooms occasionally.
That is true. But no one likes an eager beaver, so people more or less leave him alone. Out here.
So I'm keeping an eye out to see if anyone is watching Zen.
Give me a charisma check to see if you can notice the social skill, if you can interact socially with these things and notice that someone's looking at them out of the corner of the eye. Right? Perception is generally used for basic observations, and charisma is used for social skills.
Out of 30.
Yeah. You've got your eyes. You're looking around, and you notice that no one's paying Zen any attention. People are actively avoiding looking in his direction.
As I'm just staring at the room.
Yeah, Zen is really not getting any attention in this room whatsoever. It's almost like he makes people feel uncomfortable, and so they're not looking at him. And you realize that must be really lonely.
I mean, the unblinking wizard in the corner who's been there for months. I think everyone's just used to and refuses to look at him.
Yeah, so. It's a fixture of the bar, and we pretend it's not there. It's like when you walk to work and there's a beggar on the street, and you do your best to avoid and keep going. It's that sort of effect. It's there. I'm aware of it, but it makes me uncomfortable and awkward to look at because then I have to think about it. So I'm just not going to pay any attention and ignore it. It's the best way to be invisible. Dress as a beggar.
Yeah, he's usually got a party sitting with him, so he didn't. I'm not too worried about whether he's a lonely man or anything.
Mm-hmm. I've got booze.
He has a clique.
All right.
And booze.
Yes. The day begins to pass slowly but surely. A wizard does come back from the bar, from the mage tower. Tries to open the door. It's still unlocked, and they decide it must be a wizard lock spell, and some damn hooligan is up to no good, trying to trap people in outhouses. Thank God they trapped a wizard who could just get himself out. But that could be a really unfortunate thing if no one comes back to use the outhouse for a while, and you're just stuck in there for 20 or 30 minutes until someone comes by and can hear you. But they dispel magic on it and head home. Day rolls on for a little bit longer. But once again, you're not really getting a lot of jobs. It's the middle of the week, right? It's Wednesday. Not a lot of jobs start on Wednesdays. They're usually they hire you Sunday night and you start Monday, or you start Friday or Saturday if you're doing a weekend trip. Middle of the week is always really slow for getting jobs.
Help, a monster is terrorizing my farm, but only on Friday.
No, those sorts of emergency jobs can come up whenever, but non-emergency jobs typically start on Monday or start on the weekend, right? It's I need to go to this place, but you're probably gonna either begin your trek for a weekend if it's a short, we're going to the beach, you go on the weekends, or I need to go over here. You start your week with that sort of adventure.
Okay, I was wondering if you were implying that monsters had day jobs and only terrorized farms on the weekends. It's a recreational thing.
That's a pretty good idea. We could make an entire campaign out of that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I work in the coal mine all week, but then the weekend comes. Eating this peasant's cattle makes it all worth it.
Right. So the day draws on and on and on and on, and once again, the sun is beginning to set. Desmond starts closing up shop, has Glibglob come through and mop everything again. The people that live nearby head off home. The people that don't begin to,
I say, Zen, do you have the alarm spell? And does it detect invisible things?
Nope, don't have it. Not in my 20-something first level spells.
Because I have a feeling we're not getting jobs until we locate this prankster.
Yeah, probably not, but I'll take some detect magic.
And I have a feeling that for the next couple hours, it's going to be ridiculously hard to catch the prankster. But it might become easier after that.
Maybe, or maybe not. It all depends on your approach. I don't know what's going to happen today, guys. We'll see. I'm in for as much of a ride as you guys are.
I mean, Neal, I think I almost expect the things that have been happening to happen often in Shenanigans. So it's just like, oh, darn, it happened to me this time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, you guys have your discussion. Throw back your last drinks. The other group of adventurers that are here are in the middle of a card game. They've ordered enough rounds to keep them going, but Desmond's closing up the bar. The spirit that haunts the ale, the spirit of Sierra Nevada, has been told to watch the bar at night, make sure no one comes to drink anything that they're not supposed to. This is a common thing that Desmond has. She has Sierra Nevada keep an eye on the bar at night so no one steals any liquor, which used to be a problem, not so much anymore now that there's a ghost inhabiting the ale.
I'll probably just chat with her a bit.
Sure. But you guys go to head upstairs eventually. And the moment you set foot on that staircase, it goes... And it squeaks really loudly to the point that the people playing cards stop their card game and look over to you.
I don't know.
I say amateur.
I continue up the stairs.
Right. Each step on the way up squeaks loudly. The hallway squeaks loudly. As you go off into your separate rooms, everything, all the wood, all the boards squeak. You hop into your bed, and as you roll over, the weight shift makes the boards under the bed go... really loud. It's loud enough to wake you up if you were a guard falling asleep. In fact, when you hear Rob, you can even hear Rob rolling over in his bed, and it wakes you or bothers you in your room.
Sleep. That's what happens when he goes up.
Okay, I thought you guys were going up at the same time.
No, I'm not gonna go up with that lame squeaking. I said, well, there's only one way to deal with the Shenanigans prankster. And I walk down to the street to another inn, as Red Rooster say, and I'll rent a room there for the night.
Okay.
The Crimson Cock.
Sure. So you head out. You turn to the left as you step out of Shenanigans. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in an alleyway, and your clothes are 3/4 of the way off. You got your pants down around your ankles, your shirt is in the middle of being drawn over your head, and you just kind of find yourself in this position without any clear recollection of how you got here. You can't really see anything because there's a shirt up over your head. You're what the hell?
Put my shirt down.
Put your shirt down. You You have no idea how you got into this pose. Or how you got into this alleyway.
I look for my tracks and the tracks of anyone else who might have carried me here or who I might have been following.
Are you a proficient tracker?
That's why I Figaro, because I didn't have enough stat points.
Ah. Okay.
I would have, if I was going to the other inn, I would have had Figaro with me. Is Figaro here?
Figaro is here.
All right. So I look for my own tracks, and I look for other tracks.
Figaro is currently asleep, by the way. You find that after you take a look around and pull your pants up and get dressed again, you see that the alleyway ends right on that street that both the Red Rooster and Shenanigans are on. You're just off the main road in a side alley. Your dog is passed out, kind of scratching, having little doggy dreams.
All right, I try to wake up Figaro, and I'm trying to, as best I can, tell if it was a natural sleep or a sleeping spell. I'm guessing it's a sleeping spell.
It's a little hard to wake him up. Yeah.
Do I think I check his eyes? Are they dilated? I'm has he been drugged or has he been?
Yeah. Once you wake him up, he seems to be fine and alert. I'm not sure how you would tell the difference between these things, but I'll give you as many context clues as I can, and you can.
Well, I would imagine if he had just had a sleep spell on him, he'd wake up and be normal. If he'd been drugged to sleep, then he'd probably remain groggy, and his eyes might be kind of dilated or something.
He seems pretty perky.
Okay, so probably a sleep spell.
Yeah. What do you do, Alleyway Rob?
So is this down near the Red Rooster? Is this?
Yeah, this is about halfway between Shenanigans and the Red Rooster. Roughly halfway, not exactly halfway.
All right, so clearly somebody's specifically targeting me. But why?
And I think on that question, why, we go to our break. We'll see you guys on the other side of Shenanigans. Bye-bye.